Okay, so tonight I'm super excited because we have Diamonds, Cheyenne Nickerson and Lauren Rando on here. Um, Lauren went Diamond last month, right? Last month? Months flow together. And Cheyenne went Diamond in June, right? Yeah, I'm not good. Anyways, recently, they're recent Diamonds, and they're really excited to share their tips and tricks with you on how they got to where they are. It's really going to be focused on customers, how to enroll customers, how to have conversations, all of the questions that everybody has. We're going to talk about that. But they're also going to throw in some extra tips along the way. I'm going to kind of ask questions. They're going to kind of answer things. So if you do have questions, make sure you ask them in the chat so that at the end we can go through and answer questions if they're not answered by what they're telling you today. So we can start with Cheyenne really quickly, and she's just going to tell like a little brief story of where she is, where she was, and how she's going to be a soon to double Diamond, and then she's going to give her tips and tricks. So Cheyenne, I'm going to highlight you quickly because I don't know why, but it always does the speaker view wrong, and I have to go through here and spotlight things. Okay, you're going to mute yourself? Are you good?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good.
Okay. So, sorry, I'm looking at my chart. So, for those who don't know me, my name is Cheyenne Nickerson. I joined in October of 2017, so it'll literally be a year next month, which, like, I don't know, like, I feel like it's been so much longer, but I also feel like I joined last week, so it's crazy. I'm trying to think, like, a little backstory. I went executive my very first month. After that, I kind of, like, fell off, but I'm back, and that's all that really matters. So I fell off for a couple months, and then I was like, you know what, like, I need to make this work. Like, I basically I tripled my investment my first month. So I was like, I made my money back, like, okay, I'm done. And then I was thinking about it, and I was like, I'm broke, and I'm in college. Like, I need another job. And I was already working 2 other jobs. And I was like, I have a job for my phone. Like, get your ish together. Let's go. So Cheyenne actually called me at conference and was like, there's a $5,000 Emerald bonus, like, you're going to get it. And I was like, yeah, you right. So basically, like, with her and Kate, like, pushing me, I went Ruby the month I came back, which was February. I got charted for Emerald, and then I went Emerald in March, and I got my $5,000 bonus. So after that point, it was like, oh my gosh, like, I just earned a 4-figure paycheck. Like, this is crazy. And then fast forward to now, I went Diamond in June, got my $7,500 bonus, and then retired myself from corporate America, and I am going double this month. So I am super excited. But I guess, like, I have a lot of people that ask me how I sign loyal customers, and I feel like my biggest thing was, like, I constantly messaged people. Like, I signed like 30 to 40 customers my very first month. And, like, it was one of those things, and I was like, Cheyenne's making $2,000 a month from her phone. She signs like 8,000 customers a month. Like, I didn't, like, this is terrible. And she was like, you don't know, like, how good that was. And I was just like, but I'm not making $2,000 a month, or I'm not making $2,000 a month. And so she was just like, give it time, like, it'll happen. But I really just think, like, the biggest thing for me was, like, I never had friends growing up in high school. That was just, it never happened. So I never cared about, like, what people said about me. And, like, that was just something that I grew up, like, I don't know. I've always had, like, blinders on, and I've never been worried about what other people think of me. And that's definitely a good thing. But I just feel like that is what I try to tell, like, every single person that gets on my team. I'm like, you're going to get, like, what's the right word? Like, I don't want to say bullied, but, like, you know what I mean? Like, people are going to say, like, oh my God, this is a scam. Like, blah, blah, blah. Well, like, just say, okay, thank you for your time. Thanks for your input, and move on. Like, you're literally going to hear 1,000 no's before you hear one yes. And, like, I feel like that's, like, the biggest thing. And something that I've also learned from, like, watching other leaders is you have to do everything with, like, a positive intention. If you're just sitting here on Instagram sending out a message, like, you're just like, okay, like, I need to send out 10 messages today because that's what my upline told me to do. Like, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No one's going to reply to you because I don't know what kind of voodoo magic it is, but they know that you don't care. But I swear every single time I go to message someone and I look through their profile and I'm like, okay, this girl is like so like super cute. Oh my gosh. I message her, but I change up the message and I'm just like, I love like that picture of your dog or basically something like that. Cause like they know like that you're looking through their profile and they're just like, who is this? Like, okay, I might want some information. And basically just like doing it with that good intention. Like, you're here to help them. You're not here to take their money. You're here to help them grow out their hair, like do a cleanse, you know, like we're a health and wellness company. Like we're here to help people and that's all we want. And so I just feel like doing everything with like, you're going to message this person, like they're going to sign a system and they're going to buy every single thing on eSuite and like they're going to do this and that. It's just like that positive like vibe, I guess. And I swear whenever people are like, no thanks, I'm just like, okay, bye. And it does not faze me like whatsoever. And I feel like that's probably like the biggest thing. Cause I mean, and like just yesterday I messaged a girl and she was like, this is so stupid. Like, I hate how all you girls message me. And I was like, okay, like, thanks for your input. And she was like, well, like, what do you sell? And in my head, I was like, I thought you didn't care. I thought this is a joke. And I was just like, okay. So I went through the conversation and that girl bought keto coffee today. So who's really changing lives? So, I feel like that's just like the biggest thing is like doing everything with like a positive intention because I don't know, like I feel like that just works for me. It's like saying like this person's going to be my next ambassador diamond. Like this girl's going to buy a system and that girl's going to get triple threat. Like it just kind of makes everything like a little bit easier. Like if someone does tell you no, it's just like, okay, like thank you for your time. On to the next person. I just feel like that's like the biggest thing. Was that all your questions, Shay?
Yeah, I had a list of questions in my head. I really need to get better about writing these down because every time I regret it. So basically, when you're having a conversation, do you word vomit and give them a ton of information, or like how do your conversations go down?
Okay, I'm meant to talk about that. I also had a list of things I wanted to talk about. Yeah, it's gone. So this, I've been trying to teach my distributors to have this. And I know this is like hard, I don't want to say, but like if you need to have personal results, I literally like get to your upline and figure out a way for you to get some products because you need to have personal results. I was a customer before I was ever a distributor for HSN. And in a month, my hair grew 6 inches. Like, that's ridiculous. Like, that's oh my gosh. So I had pictures that I sent to my upline. I sent to the girl that I was buying HSN from. And I was like, oh my God, look at my hair. And I'm sure those pictures went viral for like a month because everyone was freaking out because my hair grew so fast. And so, I had those pictures, like obviously. So after I got started, I was talking to every single person I knew about growing out their hair. I didn't even care if they had hair longer than Shay. They needed healthier hair. And I was talking to them about it. And so like, I was just like, yeah, like look at how much my hair grew. And they're just like, what? Like, that's crazy. So like, I guess like what I did was I was like, I'm trying to think of like a typical conversation. So like if I message someone, they're like, yeah, like that sounds interesting. I'm like, okay, cool. Here's all the products. And they're like, oh, I want to grow out my hair. I'm just like, okay, perfect. And I send them the HSN information. I said, does that sound good? And they're just like, yeah, they probably won't say anything much more than that. Excuse me. It's like, yeah, okay, sure. Awesome. And I'm just like, okay, perfect. Like these are my 1 month results after growing out my hair. And I also have eyelash results. Like I grew out my lashes, like, okay. So then I would send those and I'm just thinking this is after like I grew out my lashes for 2 weeks. Like my hair is so much healthier. It's thicker. And I just kind of like explained my 1 month journey of using HSN in like a nutshell. And they're always like, oh my gosh, like my hair is so thin, or like my hair breaks off super bad. And I'm like, okay, perfect. Like this is going to help you do it or like achieve like thicker hair. And so, and I do that with every product, like for the cleanse, like, okay, like, are you bloated? And they're just like, well, yeah, I'm a girl. It's like, okay, this is going to help with bloating. Like these are my pictures after I use the cleanse for 2 days. I was like, I want to be honest. I only lost 2 pounds, but I could fit into a size lower jeans because I lost all of that bloat. and they're just like, oh my gosh, like that would make such a difference for me. It's like, okay, perfect. And like then I go on to the price. And I feel like really being like personal is like, I feel like that's probably like the biggest thing, is saying like, I don't want to say like calling out the elephant in the room, but like that's kind of what it is. Like they're interested in growing out their hair because they either have short hair, their hair's not thick, they want longer hair. Like we know why they want to grow out their hair. So it's like, yeah, like my hair used to be so short, so thin, like used to break all the time, but like now it's like super long and it's super thick. And like kind of like explaining the products like that, they're just like, okay, like she's a real person. Like she's not just a robot selling some magical hair growth pill. So I feel like that kind of like helps like with the conversations a little bit more as well.
I love that. So now we are going to move on to Lauren. I'm going to kind of go back and forth. I'm not done with you yet. So Lauren, I'm going to unmute you and try and see if I can spotlight you. Nope. Spotlight. Okay. Hi, friend. So I want you to kind of share your story a little bit about just where have you been and what you just did, and then you can like give your tips or whatever, and then I can ask you some questions.
Okay. Well, the briefest story is, let's see, March of 2017. I still have the message, is when Cheyenne messaged me for the first time about joining, and I responded a little bit, and like I was that potential that we messaged, like like I was that, I was hesitant. I was like, I don't know. And since then, I kept following her posts and yada yada yada. And then what was it? June. So just a couple months later, she posted a status about something about joining. And then she messaged me, and I don't know, basically like that was it. I just joined that day, and whenever I had joined, I really didn't need the money. I just joined because like I just was interested in it. I thought it was something that I could do and something that I wanted to do. And so after I joined, the $10 deal happened, and that was such a fiasco. But I mean, like I charted myself for Emerald, and I was like ready to go, and then I just kind of fell off. And I don't know if I fell off because I didn't need it, or, well, no, I know why I fell off. I fell off because I was overcomplicating it for myself. And I didn't, looking back, I don't think that I really utilized the resources that my uplines gave me. So like I had no idea that text replacement existed. So here I was, every single conversation, going back to my notes, copying and pasting, and going back to my notes. And it was literally such a pain in the ass. Like I thought it was so hard. And I was like, why would anyone do this? And how can I have so many conversations when I'm spending so much time, copying and pasting? Sorry, there's mosquitoes everywhere. And so I kind of fell off, but I had worked so hard that first month or whatever that my paycheck pretty much stayed the same. And I was making under 200 for probably 7 whole months. And then I came back in January. I just decided that it was time to do it. Some personal things had happened where I really needed some extra money. I needed to start taking on my bills instead of my parents. And let's see, after January, I went Ruby in February. So I just skipped executive. I double promoted to Ruby. My paychecks were still under 200 because I was just kind of building. I was doing it myself, which is okay. And then May, one of those months, I went Emerald, and my paycheck finally increased. Only by like $150, but that was enough for me to kind of like realize, hey, this can go somewhere. Like, it's not gonna stay the same forever. So then I went Diamond last month, and I feel like everyone says that they don't know how they did it. Like when people ask, like, how did you do that? You're just like, I don't know. And like, I don't know. I just, you keep doing the same thing over and over again. And then hard work pays off and it all just comes together. But if you feel like you're just stuck, like your paycheck's not growing and it's not getting bigger, I was there and I get it. And I felt like everything was against me. Like every single bonus that was happening, I missed it, or it was happening after I promoted, or I was just too far from it. There was no way that it was going to happen. And like everyone was earning bonuses. And I literally was just I just felt like everything was against me, but I just kept going because I knew that eventually I would get there. And it pays off. It really does. I mean, so if you feel like you're in a place where you're in your business and everything is against you, like you're working and you're doing what you need to do and it's just not happening right now, keep going because you'll get there. And I swear to you, I live to tell the tale that it was hard. Like it sucked seeing the paycheck each month. But then when you get over a $1,000 raise, it's just like, oh my gosh, I would do it all over again. Like I would have a $100 paycheck for 6 months all over again. I would do it 10 more times if I had to, just because that, like, it just pays off.
I love it. Yeah, Lauren is like I think that she's probably one of like the hardest workers on this team, just because she's gone through, we always call it, like everyone calls it the trenches, like seeing your team leave and no one working and seeing a low paycheck, and like here she is, just went diamond and literally made so much money, and she's only going up from here. So if that's just like so true about if you're going through hard times or you just feel like this isn't for you, like so much can change. And I love that I can even say for me, like when I was in January, my paycheck was literally a whole $328. And the next month it was over $2,000. So you control your paycheck by how much you work, and that is 100% true. So I want to ask you these questions just because you tell it like how it is. You don't really sugarcoat things, and I love that because you're just like, yeah, no. So these are pretty like basic questions, but I just want to hear what your answer is. So how many people would you say, I know it's different every day because we have lives and it's not always the same, but like how many people would you say that you like try to talk to every day? Like on a really good day, how many people do you try to talk to?
Probably I'd try and message 100.
Okay, that's good. Okay.
Yeah.
So I asked this because I know with being new, it's kind of hard to try and figure out how many people you're supposed to be messaging. And it's really hard to try to, say, okay, I need to message this many people, because I have a lot of people that are like, oh, well, I messaged 10 people yesterday and I didn't get any responses. 2 of those people are going to ignore you. 2 of those people are going to say they're busy. 2 of those people are going to read it and forget that they read it. 2 of those people are going to give you a follow-up day, and 1 of them might sign up if you're lucky. You get this business is success in numbers. Like you get as like 10 distributors, you're going to have 2 people that run with it, 2 people that take their time, 2 people that quit and come back, and 2 people that ghost you the moment they sign up. Same with the people that you talk to. You have to talk to a ton of people because everyone's life is different. And the more people you talk to, the more people you're going to enroll, the more people you're going to have as follow-up. So it's just, I like that you said that, because obviously you're not going to message 100 people every day. But on days where you can, and on days that you're going to make time for it, starting new conversations is the key to success. So next thing I want to do they all say yes to you?
No, so I have this personal ratio that I use every day, and I usually try and get like 15 to 20 phone numbers a day, if not more, but just lately my schedule has been so busy that that's just like a realistic goal for me. But I have this ratio that I use, and that's what I tell my team is that, if you're just messaging, this is what I have realized. If I message 20 people in like a chunk, like if I'm on my lunch break and I just send out 20 quick messages, usually like 17 or 18 of them will reply to my initial message. And then I'll send out like my product message, hey, like let me know what you're interested in. And then after that, it usually goes down to like 10 or 11. And then after I send my next one, where I'm asking for their number, I usually get like 5 or 6 after that. And so if that's all you're doing a day and you're still building your business, like your numbers could even, kind of be lower than that, then you're just setting yourself up for only, between 0 and 5 numbers a day if you're only sending out 20 messages. So that's what I try and tell myself is, that's the ratio I kind of use, and that's what I've experienced. So, if I'm sending out 100, then those 5 numbers, they multiply already up to 20. That's 20 numbers a day that I got. And usually when I get their numbers, I save them on my phone. I save them as PLC with their name. And then where it says like company, I'll put the products that they were interested in. That way I don't have to like go back to Instagram and scroll through and figure out which ones they wanted because I forgot or whatever. And then that's pretty much that.
Okay.
So,
and
no.
then you have people
They don't all say yes.
What? You're good.
Oh, I was just saying no, they don't. A lot of them don't say yes.
Okay. Do you just move on when someone tells you no, or what do you do when someone says like no?
It depends. I think they say no. Like if their initial response to me is like, thanks for the offer, but like I'm not interested. Now I don't really dwell on it. I just move on. I used to be like, oh my gosh, well like she responded, so like she saw my message, so I'm gonna have to make her a potential. But nowadays, like, if they don't respond to my first message or they respond they're not interested, I'm just like, okay, move on, because there's so many people that I'd rather put my effort into the conversation with. Whereas, but if someone, I send them the price and they're like, oh no, like that can't work for me, then, I'll go from there and figure out why they're saying no. And
are your sales up and down?
Yeah. And a lot of it is just because that's the way that sales are. Mm-hmm. But I'll never forget that one day a while back, whenever I would come and tell you that I wasn't working or whatever, you pretty much said that if, the business is always going to be inconsistent, but as long as you're consistent, like your business is pretty much going to be consistent. And so that's what I've always told myself, especially now whenever, I don't struggle with mindset as much, that as long as I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I don't give myself such a hard time whenever, I go a day or two without signing a loyal customer. Just because I know, when I'm doing what I need to do, and that's just the way that sales are.
Yes. I love it. So I asked her all of these questions because I hear the same thing, like the same questions from every single person. So the biggest thing that I always want to help y'all with is so many people join, and there's either people that have a slow start or a fast start. I mean, either way, whatever it is, it's different for everyone. But the thing that happens with people that have a really fast start is they enroll all of their warm market customers, and they get all these customers left and right, and then they go through their warm market and they hit a wall. And then suddenly they can't enroll anymore. And they feel like, oh, maybe I'm not meant for this business, or oh, maybe I can't enroll anymore, or maybe this was just a one-hit wonder, blah, 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 blah. All the things that you can tell yourself. That is normal. When you start this business, you have a warm market, which is everybody that you know. All of your friends, all of your family, everyone at work, everyone at school, your mom and dad, your grandpa, everybody that loves you and supports you and would literally buy dirt from you if that's what you were selling. That's how it is. And then once you get through that, and you have to make that transition to cold market, which is people you don't know, people off Instagram, people off Facebook, people you follow through Captivate, blah, blah, blah. You have to teach yourself how to enroll and how to have conversations. And that's where your upline and plugging into these Zooms and getting in your team page is important. And that's why I always tell you it's normal. If you hit a wall and you're not enrolling, it's either goes back to your mindset. It goes back to, are you putting in more than just messaging 10 people an hour or 10 people a day? You have to kind of evaluate, okay, what am I doing and what am I not doing in order to enroll these customers? So I was going to show y'all in here. I didn't really write down my customers when I got started because obviously I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I was just winging it. But I want y'all to make sure, that's why I tell y'all to print out your steps to success and your document library, which is on your eSuite, because you can write down all of your customers. So that way you know what they order. When they come back to you, you're not like, who the heck are you? Because you wrote them down. And it's just, you look at it and you're like, okay, this is how many customers I've enrolled. I need to enroll more than that. My goal is to complete this every single month multiple times. If you complete it once a month, that's what they say that's what our success is based off of. If you can complete your steps to success once a month, 3 distributors, 4 customers. But the reason I do this is I want to see what I'm producing, what my results are. So if you're not putting in the work every day, if you're putting in 10 messages a day, 1 post every 3 days, 2 posts on your story every week, that's the kind of pay that you're going to get. If you work this business like a hobby, you're going to get paid like a hobby. If you work this business like a business, you're going to get paid like a business, and that's just how it is. So this is where it kind of goes into how badly do you want this? How badly do you need this? And what is your why? Like, why did you join? What is it? Is it your kids? Is it you're tired of living paycheck to paycheck? Is it you're worth more? You hate your job? Whatever your situation is, figure out what your why is, because every time you're not putting in that work that you're supposed to be putting in, you're giving up on why you started this business. I know a lot of girls on this team are moms. They join this business to give their kids a better life. And I don't mean to say it harshly, but when you're not working this business, you're kind of giving up on them. You're not going to be able to give them what they want, and why you joined this business. You want to give them a better life. But if you're not willing to put in the work and go that extra mile every single time, then you're not, completing why you joined this business. So I wrote down something else. Okay, Cheyenne, do you have any other tips that you may have thought of or anything? I can't find you, so I unmuted you. Okay, do you have anything else you wanted to add?
I mean, I don't know. I guess like everything Lauren said. I mean, if I couldn't, I don't know how to explain that, but like, I was sitting over here and I was like, yeah. I don't know if you can see me, but every time she said something, I was like, yeah, like I agree. But basically just what Lauren said. I feel like that kind of sums it all up in a nutshell.
Okay. I know now what I was going to talk about. I just remembered it. So I literally got out my binder to tell you all about this, and I got distracted because I get on a tangent. So the reason I told you to write down your customers is because, and I've already forgotten what I was going to say. What is going on with me? I was telling you to write them down for a reason, and I don't remember now. Okay, I guess I'll answer these questions.
Maybe?
The what?
Like promotions, like product promotions?
No, it was really important too, and I've already forgotten what I was going to say. Oh, duh. Okay, my very first month, I enrolled, I think it was like 18 customers. It was just people that I knew. Literally, my kindergarten teacher was a customer. That's how deep down I was digging in my warm market. Like, kindergarten teacher, my 5th grade teacher, like my principal at my school, the front desk lady at my middle school was a customer when I first got started. Like, I was reaching out to every single person under the sun, and I was like, hi, buy these products or not, but buy them. Like, I was so adamant on being successful, and I just ran with it. Literally, that's the only thing I can tell you as to what I was doing. So 18 customers my first month, then it was like 13, then it was like 10, then it was like 14, then it was like 12, then it was like 4, then it was 2, then it was 9. It was all over the place. And that's why I asked Lauren that question. It's everybody's up and down. It's sales. But as long as you're consistent in your business, you're going to produce consistent results. And that is what's important. If you're not working and you're skipping your business, you're like not going to work it today because you were too busy, or you were at work all day, or like you have 5 kids and they were driving you nuts, so you didn't work your business. Like, what are you doing? Like, you didn't show up to work today. That's kind of what you're doing. Like, you would get fired at a regular job. So you have to have self-discipline in order to work your business every day. So what I wanted to say with that is, it's just, I hit that wall too, and I hit that I don't know who else to enroll because I've talked to every single person, and that's going to flow into these questions that y'all did ask, and they're really good questions. You just have to keep going. I can guarantee you that every ambassador in this business has hit walls, has gone months where they did not enroll, has gone months where they just literally did not know what to do because they were doing everything right and couldn't enroll. They couldn't get customers. The conversations weren't going good. It's sales, and that's just how it is. And I promise you it gets better, because at first when you start doing that, it's kind of hard because you're hard on yourself and you don't understand why you're not enrolling, and you kind of blame yourself for it. But that's just the way this business model works. It's all in your consistency on whether you're posting enough. And that's one thing too. When I'm not enrolling customers, I sit there and ask myself, okay, what am I doing every day for my business? Like, am I messaging enough people? Am I making good quality posts that I personally wrote myself? Am I taking good photos? Am I pouring into my team how I should? Am I having those good conversations? Am I talking to enough people? Just make sure you're asking yourself every day if you're doing the work that you're supposed to be doing. And that will all go into it. So I have a daily goals list.
Can I add to that?
What?
Can I add to that real quick?
Yeah.
This just happened the other day. So it's been a year and a couple months since I joined, and not everyone that you talk to when you first join is going to need the products right then. So, like, for example, I've been posting for a year now, and one of my best friends from high school, obviously she's seen my posts for the last year, and she texted me the other day because she went and got her hair cut, and her hairdresser cut it so short, and she was so unhappy with it, and she texted me and said, hey, like, do your HSN pills really work? Because I need them. Like, I hate my hair and I need them. And I was like, yes, they work. Like, and she ordered that day because she needed it. So she saw my posts for a whole year, but she didn't need them until, something happened. People aren't going to need your posts until, they gain extra weight for some reason, or they get a haircut that they hate, or their face breaks out and they need skincare. It's not a matter of like, no, I don't want your products. It's just like, I don't need them, but they're always going to be there. So, had I not been posting every day for the last year, she probably would have just like either not bought products and dealt with it, or just, gone to somebody else that she knew that sells it, as opposed to knowing that that's something that we sell. And so
I love that too, because I've always talked about it in a way of like, we're girls and we're all really hard on ourselves. And there's always something on our bodies that we either want to alter or change or enhance. Like, we wear makeup to enhance our face. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's why, like, it flows into what Lauren just said. People always are changing. Like, their bodies are always changing, and they're, you grow out of your hairstyles and you don't want that anymore. And you cut your hair off and then you regret it. Or you go to college and you gain the freshman 15. Well, when they were in high school, they were like, I'm not going to gain the freshman 15. Well, because you posted every day and you were consistent in your business, they came to you because they knew what you were doing. I know so many people that I didn't even know they existed. And they were like, I followed you for a year, but I really need some weight loss products that I've gained weight recently. Well, they didn't. If I would have messaged them a year ago, they wouldn't have been interested, and I would have got a no, and I would have got discouraged, So I love that Lauren added that, because it's so, so true. So it just, like I said, it all comes back into your consistency. Lauren, do you have anything else you wanted to add?
Two things. I don't know if they're related, but for me, it was all a mind game. And every time that, so recently I haven't been getting discouraged, because I tell myself that I don't let myself get discouraged. And I don't let myself get discouraged. So you could ask me like, hey, how many LCs have you signed up? And I say none. And I'm still like happy as can be working my business. Like, it's no big deal, because it's not, me getting pissed off about it isn't going to do anything but prolong the fact that I haven't signed any
you're putting in the work too. You know that.
Yeah.
So you're confident in it.
And so I only realized that because a long time ago, or a couple months ago, I texted Cheyenne freaking out, and I was like, I haven't signed any customers. Like, I don't know what the deal is. It's 2 weeks into the month, and like, what is wrong with me? And she was like, well, are you working? And I was like, yes, like, I'm doing everything I need to be doing. I'm messaging, posting, blah, blah. And she was like, okay, it's your mindset. And I was like, what? I'm doing all this work, and you're telling me that my mind is the reason that I'm not signing customers? And then, like, literally, I did some self-development. I just kept going, and then all of a sudden, like, the rest of the month, I was on fire. Because in my brain, I was like, the first 2 weeks, I was telling myself, this sucks. Like, you're not signing any customers. Like, what are you doing wrong? And I was just, like, nitpicking everything that I was doing, and it was hindering from the fact that, I wasn't doing anything wrong. It's just like, it's life, and it's so crazy to think about that. You could be doing everything right, but if you're not right in your mind, that's one thing that could hinder your success, and that's crazy. And that's why we tell you just do personal development. And like, I didn't do it for the longest time. I really didn't. Like, I didn't get it until lately. I don't let myself get discouraged. And it's really, I have no words. Like, it's just think positive. And like, my dad told me this. He just said, when you think that good things are going to happen to you, good things are going to happen to you. So if you wake up every day and you're like, you know what, I'm going to get some numbers today and I'm going to sign a loyal customer, you're probably at a 90% chance of signing a customer, as opposed to waking up and being like, wow, yesterday sucked so bad, I didn't sign any customers. Because you're probably not going to sign any customers that day either, because your mind is just not right. And so, you know, if you're doing everything right and you're still not finding success, like, it could be your mind. So just do some personal development. And then, so that was my rant on that subject. But then the other thing I wanted to touch on was just that, like, all of the 6 steps that you're supposed to do every day, they all come for, like, full circle. Like, if you think of them in a circle in your brain with each step and you don't do one of them, like, that circle can't be completed, and, like, it doesn't work. So if you're posting and you're going live and all this stuff, but you're only sending out 10 messages, like, that's going to hinder your business. Or if you're messaging 100 people and you're not posting, that's going to hinder your business. Like, it all has to come full circle, because there's so many times where I message someone and she's like, oh my gosh, yes, I saw that in your story and I totally forgot to reach out to you about it. She already knew what I was talking about and she already wanted to try it, but she forgot. So, like, what if I would have had not posted and I would have messaged her? It might have gone differently, because she either might have not been interested, or vice versa. But everything, all the 6 steps, they work, like, harmoniously together. They don't work just one by one. They don't work if you're just messaging. They don't work if you're just posting. And that was a hard thing for me to understand too.
Yes, that's very, very true. And that's why we always say, if you're not like, a lot of people too think that posting is working. Posting is, coming to where people are going to just flock to you. People are not just going to flock to you. Posting is what convinces them. I know that, like, obviously we all post on our story about keto coffee and chocolate greens. I have so many people that I message and they're like, oh my gosh, I've been watching your stories and I've been really wanting to order. Some people just don't reach out. I don't really know why, but people say that all the time. And if I wasn't posting, I wouldn't be completing that circle. They would have skipped over that and they would not even know what I'm talking about. And then I would cold message them and they wouldn't even know that we have keto coffee and chocolate greens, because they would just say no. So That's a super, super big thing. So now we are going to answer all the questions in the chat really quickly. So if y'all want to add anything that I say, you can just talk. So Sydney, text replacement is where you can, like, so say your loyal customer message, you can put it in your settings into your keyboard and you type one letter and it just pastes it. So if you go to settings and then go to general and then go to keyboard and then go to text replacement, you can copy and paste things into the phrase in the shortcut. If you need help, you can text me with that. But it's just like a way that we just send quick stuff all the time. Do you only message people who follow you back? Yes, I only message people with a mutual follow back, because they're the only ones that get the notification. If you message somebody that does not follow you, they're going to go into the request folder. Some people have those notifications on, some people don't. So typically, yes, I do only message people that follow me back. And you can do that by going to your profile and clicking the middle button. That's the people that have mutual follow. You follow them and they follow back. And you only message the people that obviously are not blue. So it's the people that say following and it's in your followers. So it's mutual. And they'll get the notification when you do message them, just because it's a mutual message. But sometimes, like when I'm going for promotions or like I'm helping someone else promote, I'll just go through my timeline and just message everyone, because you never know. Some people may have different notifications on. So just literally message anybody. How do y'all message 100 plus people a day? Like, how do you find that many people? Captivate. Captivate, you can go and search Captivate training, and it will teach you exactly how to set it up, how to add people to the cloud, all of that stuff. And it's basically just an app that follows daily for you and then unfollows for you when you put it in the cloud. Just like a little folder that they go in that they filter through. And so when you're messaging people, you don't want to message. Instagram will block you if you message too many people. So what I do is, like, either 3 times a day I'll sit down and message like 10 to 20 people, or every hour, or just whatever my daily schedule is going to allow. I message that many people, and so you can easily message over 100 people a day. It just depends on how much work you're willing to put in and how big you want your paycheck to be.
Can I jump in on that? So go ahead.
Okay, sorry. So okay, so today, for example, I could not message 100 people today. I got like a whole 2 followers yesterday on Instagram. So I didn't have 100 people to message today. So like what I went back and did was like I unsent and like recent messages that like people like read and didn't respond, or like just did some like quick follow-ups, like things like that. So like, cause I think I may have gotten 5 followers on Instagram. Like when I woke up this morning and I was like, yeah, like I messaged them, but like it's not going to do anything. So like I just went back and like did their unsend, resend, and I got like some more like interaction, I guess, through that, because I had a couple girls like, oh my gosh, I forgot to press send on my message, like something like that, and I was like, okay. But I feel like that's like another good thing to do as well if you like lose people to message, just because like not every day you're going to wake up with 50 follow requests on Instagram. Like obviously someday that happens because Captivate is a blessing, but that doesn't happen every single day. So that's like another thing you can do to like, I guess, offset that is what I would say.
Yeah, I had that problem for a long time before I started using Captivate. Was I would, I'd have 20 new followers, and then once you message them all, you're kind of like at this point where you're just kind of like, what do I do now? So, yeah, kind of what Cheyenne said, like, if you run out of people to message, sometimes that happens. If you're filling it with other things that are going to help your business, then, you're good. And then as Captivate works, you'll have more people to follow. But also, if you're not using Captivate, you absolutely should. That was a 100% game changer for me, because you just, by using that, a lot of the time you don't run out of people to message, because you're always getting new followers. And a lot of the time I can't keep up. Like I sometimes, like I try and get it to where I never get to the top and I run out of people to message. So I always want to like have more followers coming in so that I never reach that point. But I mean, like Cheyenne said, sometimes it does happen, because sometimes Captivate hates us and it just doesn't work the way you want to. But as long as you're using Captivate, then like there's no reason that you shouldn't be at least getting, 20 new followers a day or whatever. But that also plays into making sure that your Instagram doesn't look whack, because if you're not getting followers, I'm not going to be harsh, but like that probably means that your Instagram is whack and people don't want to follow you. So that I wish, if I don't know how to say that in a way that's not blunt, but like that's just the reality of it. Like you're working in network marketing business, and if you need to get followers, you need people to see your posts, and if people aren't following you, there's a reason that they're not following you. So either you're too spammy and people already know what you're doing, or I don't know,
Yes, very true. We run a social media business, so what you want to make sure is that you are posting quality content and you are posting good pictures that you're taking the time to go take and make good to where people do want to stay following you, and that you're not posting spammy stuff like black, green, and bling and before and afters and stuff like that, that you're taking the time to make those good posts. And all of that comes with learning, is making sure you're following top leaders that post good pictures so that you kind of have inspiration. The next thing, Sydney, make sure you go in Diamond Tribe and just search Captivate, and there'll be training videos. We're supposed to be getting customers. So Sydney, since you're new, you want to get your first 5 customers for your $150 shopping spree, but at the same time talking to people that you think could really use this business and use some extra income. Sydney, the 6 steps. So I was going to talk about this earlier. It's 6 steps, making like bare minimum, but like mine's a little bit longer than that. So this is my daily goals that I have written out for myself so that I know what I need to hold myself accountable for. It's just my personal development every single day. So I've been reading Girl Wash Your Face. I watch little YouTube videos. If you like to read, there's so many books that you can read. I message daily, just like we've been talking about this whole time. I add to my Captivate cloud. I talk to my team, post on my Instagram once a day, post on Facebook at least 3 times a day, try to get at least 10 numbers. I follow up and I add to my Instagram story. So it's basically just a list of things that you do every single day for your business to make sure that you're holding yourself accountable, and to make sure that if you're not enrolling, you did do what you're supposed to be doing. Maggie, how do I talk to random people about this? What should I send them to get their attention? So once you go through your warm market, you can always text me and I can send you a message to send to random people. It's just kind of something that you kind of make personal to where you reach out to people and just say like, hey, like, I don't know if you've ever thought about using health and wellness products, or maybe you're needing a new like regimen, but I would love to talk to you more about it, blah, blah, blah. But I can definitely send you that message. It's kind of just what I was talking about, making that transition from warm market to cold market.
Yeah, it's weird at first, I'm not gonna lie. Like, you have to get over that hump of, like, talking, you know, like, every message I used to send out, I swear to you, I would think about it 10 times before I even pressed, because I thought it was just so weird. But then, I was just talking to a potential distributor about this the other day. She asked me, you know, she was telling me that she didn't think that she had enough friends and family to buy the stuff in order for her to be successful. And I told her that, you know, 95% of the people that buy my products I've never met or ever talked to in my life before the day that I cold messaged them. And that's just what it is. Yeah, I mean, like, social media, it connects you with, like, so many people all over the world. You just have to be willing to reach out and kind of have that, I don't even know, like, that motivation to message. If they don't respond, then move on, and you're going to keep going, and, like, you're going, and you're not going to stop, regardless of how many no's you get.
Very true. Alexa said, if they saw your message, do you keep sending them the same message? You can. I mean, typically you're not going to sit there and unsend and resend to the same person over and over and over, because they kind of get lost, because you're messaging so many people. So I wouldn't really focus on that as much and worry about it. I've never had anybody get mad at me and say, like, you've messaged me so many times and you send the same thing, because they don't do that, because they don't notice, because you don't do them close enough. So if you're messaging and you're doing your job and you're messaging a bunch of people, then you don't really have to worry about sending the same message over and over to somebody. And then, Jordan, how do you decide who to follow? I go to boutiques. I go to the Discover page. I find a cute blogger. I try to follow people that relate to me. So, like, Lauren, she loves dogs and she loves animals. So she's obviously going to relate to people that love dogs and animals too, and, like, post pictures of their dogs and stuff, because then she'd be able to say, like, hey, like, I love my dog too. It's just like a common thing. Like, Cheyenne loves, like, outdoor stuff and, like, motocross and stuff. So she'd be able to talk to somebody and relate to them more. She's like, hey, I did that too. Because it's like making that friend relationship, because that's what you want. You don't want to just be some random person that's selling stuff. You want to be somebody that's like a friend and, like, a normal human being and not just a robot. Do you go through and delete your messages? No, never.
No, I went the hard way.
Sydney, I will text you about that.
People get angry when you do that.
But if y'all have any more questions, you can always text your leader. Make sure that you are plugging into the team page. And then on Tuesday, we will have our Diamond Tribe Zoom with Courtney Lavie or Courtney Board, whichever one's hosting it this week. And you just get on the same thing, get on Zoom and enter their ID at 8 or 8:30 typically. So I hope that this Zoom helped y'all. It was filled with a bunch of information, and I will talk to y'all later on, and I'll post the recording soon. Bye, y'all.